Today we will take a look at the best vlogging camera for summer in 2024. If you want to find more information, check out links down below. Before we start, make sure you click subscribe button and like this video. Now let's get started.
5. Sony ZV E1.
The Sony ZV E1 is Sony's first full-frame interchangeable lens vlogging camera. The Sony ZV E1 is a very good vlogging camera, particularly for those who tend to shoot in less controlled lighting conditions or in low light and can benefit from its full-frame sensor. This vlogging camera comes in two color variants, black and white. The Sony ZV E1 feels incredibly well built. It's right up there with other recent Sony full frames. The ports, inputs, and battery and SD card compartments are covered with hinged doors. The ergonomics are good, especially if you have smaller hands. The camera is odd in that its size and ergonomics aren't suited to holding it in a selfie vlogging position, so you'll likely need a grip. The camera has a large vari-angle touchscreen. You can use the screen to navigate the menus, activate the shutter or video recording, set AF points, or swipe from the edges to pull out additional settings. Battery life is great but falls short of the advertised 140 minutes. You will manage to get 108 minutes of continuous video recording when shooting in 4K at 30 frames per second. 4. Fujifilm X-S20. The Fujifilm X-S20 is an exceptional mirrorless camera for creators and photo enthusiasts. The X-S20 uses the same 26MP X-Trans BSI CMOS sensor but pairs it with an updated image processor for better autofocus and 10-bit 4K 60 video. The body is a little larger than before, but at 3.4 by 5.0 by 2.6 inches it remains one of the most compact cameras with 5-axis image stabilization. Its build materials are premium. It weighs about 1.1 pounds without a lens, making it a good fit for travel. This control scheme suits its hybrid billing and should be familiar if you are moving over from other systems. And, for an enthusiast camera, the X-S20 doesn't overdo it with buttons. The 3-inch LCD swings out to the side and twists to tilt down, up, or forward. It's quite bright and you will be able to see it with some effort on a bright, sunny day at default brightness despite some glare. It's also very easy to pump up its brightness. The 1.8 million dot display is crisp enough to use for punched-in manual focus and to review photos for sharpness. That's a nice benefit over the competing Sony A6700, which uses a relatively low pixel, 1.03 million dot display. You should be able to get 750 pictures per charge at default power settings, though that estimate drops down to 530 snaps if you engage the 100 frames per second EVF boost mode. 3. Panasonic Lumix GH6. The mirrorless filmmaking world may have become more focused on full-frame cameras since the GH Lumix series emerged. But the Panasonic Lumix GH6 shows that there's still life in the micro four thirds sensor format. With full-frame cameras proving popular with filmmakers right now, some might question whether a micro four thirds camera like the GH6 remains an attractive proposition. Its thoughtful design, superb handling, and the sheer wealth of video options on offer make it a tool that'll suit all but the most demanding of mirrorless movie makers. The GH6 body shape is almost the same as a Panasonic's Lumix G series. There's a big textured grip to wrap your right hand around while your left supports the lens, and a nice clear OLED electronic viewfinder with 3.68 million dots for composing, previewing and reviewing your shots no matter how bright the weather conditions. Without a lens attached but with an SD card and battery inserted, the GH6 weighs just 823 g and measures 138.4 by 100.3 by 99.6 millimeters, which makes it only slightly bigger than the GH5 II. 2. Sony ZV-1. The Sony ZV-1 is a great compact vlogging camera you can buy. The inclusion of a 3.5mm microphone port means it's relatively easy to add good quality audio to match your videos. The flip side to this complexity is that the ZV-1 is absolutely packed with features, including a built-in ND filter, autofocus sensitivity options, and profiles. The ZV-1 size means there are naturally other compromises, including the lack of a headphone jack and average battery life. While the absence of an electronic viewfinder means those looking for a stills camera should also look elsewhere, the best new feature is a side-hinged articulating touchscreen. This kind of screen is better than a tilting one for shooting video, because it leaves the top and bottom of the camera free for attaching accessories. This hot shoe replaces the electronic viewfinder you'll find on Sony's RX100 series. Losing a built-in EVF would be a big deal for a stills-focused camera, and it's something to bear in mind if you need an all-rounder for both photos and video. The Sony ZV-1 does what many vloggers have been crying out for. It combines the lens of the Sony RX100 Mark V with Sony's latest Bions X processor and autofocus skills. 1. DJI Pocket 3. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is a wonderful tool for vloggers and content creators. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is a pocket-sized 4K video camera with a built-in gimbal, providing professionally stabilized video for a fraction of the price of a full gimbal and video camera setup. The DJI Pocket 3's design, it's not pretty, but it's functional, compact, and lightweight. Build quality is fantastic. The camera body is built from sturdy metal and high-quality plastics, while nicely damped buttons and the large touchscreen give a premium feel.